have already proposed House Resolution 1, the Take Our Country Forward Act, or the Take America Forward Act. Today I'd like to give just a few more details of what I think could fit in that bill, which I would like to co-sponsor and to introduce in January of 2011, if I am privileged to be elected by you on November 2nd. There's four basic things that I think should be in this bill, and they are drawn from the Promise to America from the Republican Party, as well as the Contract from America for the Tea Party. I'm very concerned that we're about to go back to business as usual in Washington. And there's already talk in the Wall Street Journal of compromise, maybe cutting $100 billion and otherwise leaving everything pretty much in place. This is not what Americans want. We want to take our country forward. We don't want to go back to the old ways of the Republican Party under the Bush administration or the Democratic Party under the Obama administration. We need to put together something new to dig ourselves out of the ditch that we've gotten into since 2008 and even before that. First of all, we need to repeal Obamacare. Secondly, we've got to repeal the unused stimulus funds that are, for instance, being used to build the Central Corridor light rail to basically destroy University Avenue. Thirdly, we should, I believe, enact some principles. I believe it would be a good thing to enact as principles the determination of the Congress to take 4 different steps. The first step would be to begin to engage in national legislation instead of earmarks while ignoring the big problems. For instance, in the session just ended, the Democrats didn't even submit a budget. They just enacted a few appropriations. Secondly, we want to pass a resolution showing our determination to shrink the size and the scope of the federal government. That means begin to cut agencies and departments. Thirdly, along with the second action, we would show our determination to return those powers and revenue back to the state of Minnesota and the other states where we can undertake these actions more effectively and more cost effectively. We want to state our determination that we are doing this to stimulate activities at the state level. Fourthly, I would like to put in that bill some statutory guidance to control illegal affirmative action, to regulate that, because although the Supreme Court has already ruled that it is illegal, that is to say in cases where for a specific job classification there has been no history of discrimination that resulting in the lack of participation of various classes like gender and race. And I also want to include in this bill statutory guidance to regulate and restrict the use of comparable worth salary schemes, because these tend to discriminate against men because they are enacted specifically to place more women in higher paying jobs, and they effectively give control of the hiring process to committees of women in many corporations across America. And I believe it is important for the Congress to enact this in order to give greater certainty and a better regulatory environment for corporations here, that they are again free to hire the people whom they want to do the things that they want when they want. We want to reduce the time, the cost, and the threat of class action and other litigation that corporations take into account when they make hiring decisions. If we do all of these things, we are going to jumpstart the economy. And we don't need a stimulus package to do that. What we need, new statutes and regulation that give certainty and confidence to business, because we still don't have that, unlike what Betty McCollum, the current incumbent, has said. And I hope that you will support the Take Our Country Forward Act, or Take America Forward Act as House Resolution 1, by voting me in on November 2nd. Thank you for coming out to vote on November 2nd, and please vote to take our country forward.